In the 8th month of my pregnancy, someone gave me an abortion pill, and blood stained the floor. Qin Shuo cried all the way, running countless red lights to take me to the hospital, and even invited the top gynecologist in the country, making me think he wanted to save me and the baby. It wasn't until I woke up early on the operating table that I heard his conversation with my brother, which made me feel as if I had fallen into an ice cellar. Didn't we agree to only have an abortion? Why was her uterus removed too? My brother's roar was filled with anger. Qin Shuo, what right do you have to deprive her of the right to be a mother? Qin Shuo's usual gentle voice turned as cold as ice. Letting this child live for 8 months is already the greatest mercy I can show. Only the child between you and me is worthy of the position of heir to the Qin family. This is what she owes you, and she must pay it back. You, Chen Yu, the fake daughter who stole 18 years of my life. It turned out that the perfect marriage I cherished with all my heart was a scam from the beginning. Qin Shuo had always loved her. My brother still tried to persuade him, saying that Qin Shuo wasn't completely without feelings for me, but Qin Shuo only replied indiferently, I owe you too much, and I can never repay it in this life. Letting her have my child once is already a concession from you. The pain from the wound in my abdomen was unbearable, but it was nothing compared to the pain in my heart. I seemed to see that formed baby, purple and black all over, struggling to take his last breath, the baby I had tried my best to protect, killed by the man I loved the most with my own hands. I bit my lip tightly, not daring to make a sound, letting tears slide silently. After waking up, Qin Shuo was still in that gentle and affectionate look, holding me and comforting me softly, saying he would always be with me, and even saying losing is also a kind of gain. I suppressed the overwhelming hatred, pretended to be in great sorrow, and let him put on a show. I thought of how he seemed thoughtful during my pregnancy, cooking for me personally, and now I realized that it was just a plan to make me let down my guard and take the medicine smoothly. When Qin Shuo went downstairs to get food, he left his spare phone. I tried to unlock it with my own birthday but failed, but it opened immediately when I entered Chen Yu's birthday. The chat records were like sharp knives, making me dizzy. Qin Shuo's so called business strips at home and abroad were all to accompany Chen Yu for prenatal checks and childbirth abroad. He applied stretch mark oil for her, rubbed her swollen feet, and even helped her with constipation with his own hands, but laughed at me for wasting effort to name our child, and then spent tens of millions to invite numerologists to name Chen Yu's child Zhao Ziyuan. What made me even more chilling was that the chat records showed that Chen Yu and Qin Shuo had long agreed to let me raise their child, while she pursued her career abroad. Thinking of when Chen Yu went abroad, she said with a relieved look that she wouldn't rob Qin Shuo or blame me. I realized that she had always been the best at pretending, taking away my parents, husband and wife with an innocent appearance. My heart was dead. I sent a WeChat message to my master, agreeing to go back to pick herbs with him in the mountains in a month. That was my only way out. When Qin Shuo came back, he still fed me gently, and even proposed to pick up Chen Yu and Zhao Ziyuan, lying to the outside world that the child was mine, so that both parents can be explained. I pretended to agree, watching his surprised look, only feeling extremely sad. A few days later, Qin Shuo couldn't wait to pick up Chen Yu and Zhao Ziyuan back to China and hold a family banquet in the Chen family's villa. My parents smiled and played with Zhao Ziyuan, showing great affection for Chen Yu. When they turned to see me, their faces were cold, accusing me of being unlucky and unfortunate, and even said that since I lost my child, it was Chen Yu who sacrificed her child for me to raise. Qin Shuo stared at Chen Yu the whole time, turning a blind eye to my grievances. Chen Yu held Zhao Ziyuan and walked up to me, pretending to be sincere and letting me look at the child. I brushed the child's face with my fingertips, and hatred surged in my eyes. Why could he grow up safely, while my child couldn't even see the world once? I accidentally found that the red string around the child's neck was too tight, and just as I was about to reach out to adjust it, Chen Yu suddenly screamed, saying I wanted to hurt the child. Qin Shuo suddenly pushed me to the ground, roaring and questioning me if I was human. He and Chen Yu stood on both sides of the child like a real family of three. My parents and the elders of the Qin family also accused me without distinguishing right from wrong, until I said softly, "The child is easy to suffocate with the red string." Chen Yu opened the child's neck and saw the red marks, and showed a look of shame. But Qin Shuo still defended her. And my mother also impatiently accused me of deliberately pretending to be miserable. At that moment, I completely gave up the idea of divorce. I wouldn't divorce, nor would I pester them. I wanted to disappear completely, making them live in guilt forever. That night, I heard obscene voices coming from the basement in the guest room. The ambiguous words between Chen Yu and Qin Shuo made me extremely nauseous, and I stumbled out of the villa. Chen Yu chased me out, still pretending to be innocent, apologizing for her overreaction, and saying she would go abroad after the full -month banquet and never come back. Looking at her hypocritical face, I was about to question her, but was pushed down by Qin Shuo again. Old wounds added new ones, making me dizzy with pain. I roared and questioned Qin Shuo if he had put the abortion pill in my food, but he was completely guiltless, instead accusing me of being incompetent and forcing me to apologize to Chen Yu. I suddenly laughed, bowed deeply, and turned to leave. Qin Shuo felt an inexplicable panic in his heart, but only thought I was angry, thinking he could win me back with a few words of consolation. A few days later, it was my and Chen Yu's birthday. Qin Shuo spent a lot of money on Chen Yu, with drones and fireworks lasting all night, and it was on the hot search repeatedly. The Chen family also booked a building to play birthday blessings for Chen Yu in turn. As for me, I only cooked a bowl of longevity noodles for myself, hacked up my things, and distributed them to the homeless. The next day, I burned all the wedding photos and marriage certificates, and the ashes drifted away with the wind. On the third day, Qin Shuo called me to Xiaoziyuan's full -month banquet. I agreed with a smile, but put on the old clothes I wore when I was taken back to the Chen family and went straight to the hotel. I was going to plan a death to escape this suffocating place completely. The auspicious time for the full -month banquet had passed, and I still hadn't appeared. The uneasiness in Qin Shuo's heart became stronger and stronger, until someone rushed to report in panic. "Mr. Qin, Madam jumped off the building." Everyone rushed to the square, only to see a pool of blood on the ground, a thin body covered with a white cloth, and the exposed old clothes were exactly the ones I wore when I came home that year. Qin Shuo rushed over like crazy, roaring to lift the white cloth. At that moment, the square's big screen suddenly played the video I recorded in advance, as well as the ambiguous scenes and conversations between Qin Shuo instructing the doctor to remove my uterus and Chen Yu. All the truth was made public. The onlookers were in an uproar, accusing Qin Shuo of cruelty, the Chen family of favoritism, and Chen Yu of hypocrisy. My brother Chen Feng punched Qin Shuo in the face on the spot, accusing him of killing me. Mother Qin tried to do public relations, but was refuted by the Chen family on the spot, and they also invited appraisers to confirm that the video was true. The Qin family and the Chen family immediately fought. Chen Yu was accused by everyone, and the relatives who used to love her were full of doubts about her at this moment. Watching the video, Qin Shuo finally realized that I had known everything long ago. Thinking of my despair on the operating table and my loneliness on my birthday, he completely collapsed, crying bitterly while holding my body. But he could never get my response again. Chen Yu still tried to recover, but was roughly pushed away by Qin Shuo. He exposed Chen Yu's disguise over the years. She was never innocent, but deliberately seduced him and framed me, just to secure her position as the Chen family's daughter. Qin Shuo threw Chen Yu into a villa where vagrants gathered, retaliating against her for killing me. Half a year later, Qin Shuo was acquitted due to schizophrenia, but he went completely crazy. He turned himself in again and again, and finally found evidence that he was sober when he committed the crime and got the punishment he deserved. The Qin family also completely gave up on him. As for me, I didn't really jump off the building. It was just a fake death plan by my master and me. At this moment, I was competing with my master to pick ginseng in the deep mountains. My master threw me a ginseng doll that looked like a child, and I burst into tears instantly. It looked exactly like my unborn child. Ignoring my master's opposition, I fed it with my heart's blood and named it in Bao, the name I originally prepared for my child. One day, I went down the mountain to buy clothes and toys for Bao. Qin Shuo suddenly appeared, excitedly wanting to hug me, begging for my forgiveness, and taking out money to compensate me. I dodged coldly, telling him there is no if, and letting him turn himself in to atone for his sins. Qin Shuo turned pale, put down the money, and left in despair. Not far away, my parents and brother were also standing there, wanting to recognize me with guilty faces, saying they knew they were wrong. I exposed their hypocrisy. They didn't repent. But the Chen family's business was declining, and they wanted to rely on me to save the situation. I told them without looking back that I was going to a place without them. Later, I received a large transfer from Qin Shuo before his death, with a note, "I'm sorry." I donated all of it without hesitation, completely cutting off all karmic ties with him. The Chen family's business completely collapsed. My parents were hit and killed by Chen Yu while driving. Chen Yu turned herself in and was imprisoned, and my brother was depressed. All of this had nothing to do with me. I took Bao and my master to settle in a bigger mountain, picking herbs and raising Bao every day, living a carefree life. This time, I finally protected my child and would never let anyone hurt us. The end.